So today we're starting the back seat. Why are we starting the back seat? Because well, this is Mr. Britfix. We do start in the back seat sometimes, but essentially we have to pop this seat off because we're going to do struts today, and in doing struts you got to pop the seats up. So I'm going to go back around the other side. I'm going to pop off this one side, and then I'm going to get this right there, this whole thing, and then this side over here has to be done. All right, so I'm gonna try to keep this in good view of everything. There's essentially a tab right in here, and we're gonna pop that up, and then should be able to take this out, put these back through, and so it'll be ready to go. So watch me pop this out. Probably not easy, not good at all, but you know, whatever, it's gonna be fun. All right, maybe we need a little bit more leverage, or maybe we need a new tool. Oh my goodness, does not like me. All right, so I'm gonna go get a tool now. Fun stuff. All right, so didn't even have to use a tool, but we like to pretend that everything's, you know, easier. That's just, you know, how it is. So we'll push these back through. We'll have to remember to put them back as we go. One, and then two. That's the second one, and then there we are. Got some you know, some change in here. It's a nickel. It's good. We'll get to use that one later. So we might do some vacuuming out here before we put the seat back in, but now it's time to get this stuff sorted. So I've lifted this up, all right, and then that is so that way I can unbolt. Well, unfortunately now I have to unbolt this too. So looky here, they decided to put a bolt here, so I'll do that bolt, pop this forward, that'll be fine. I'm going to do that on the other side too. That way I can get this piece off, then this piece is off, and I'll show you where the other components are. So yeah, about to do this real quick. All right, so here we go. We're going to go right in there and get this one. By the way, it's a 12mm to get that bolt. Oh no, oh no, where did it go? And like all things, you don't want to lose a bolt. Well, all right, here we go. We're gonna get it. There we are, there we are. Look at that. That's the 12mm bolt. Now we should be able to pull, shift it upward, pull and shift it upward in some way, form. Hopefully I'm getting all this. I have no idea. By the way, a shout out to a good friend of mine that has lended me a upgrade for the camera. So hopefully we have better stuff going on. Oh, did everyone see that? Look, up and over, and there we are. That is the part. It is held in by, you know, that plastic piece here, and then it has a little ledge here. So what we want to do is, I want you to see, and then this will be something that maybe we just wrap it around over here, get it out of the way, you know, just is an issue here. But we have right here, here's a flap, and you open that flap, and there are the 3 bolts that are holding your strut in. So 1, 2, 3. All right, we're going to leave those there. We're going to make sure that we can kind of move our installation a little bit over here and then we should be able to get to them. There is a dust cap here. We'll take that off. That will be used at some point in time, so it should be easy. Just take the dust cap off. I'll put that down here with my screw to hold that piece in, and then when we're back, we'll be starting with lifting the Camry up, and then undoing over here, and then undoing up here. So that should be good enough. Yeah, I'm gonna eat some lunch. Got some chicken fingers and stuff like that to eat. If you do like chicken fingers, I do recommend eating them while they're warm, not later when they're not warm. Much better warm. Cold is a little bit weird. You know, chicken fingers, you can eat them, but eat them probably warm. That's my suggestion. And look, also, by the way, we just do want to point out, look at all the dirt. We'll clean this up. That way this is nice and tidy as well. But you know, got that off, got this off, got that done, so we'll be moving along. Alright, so we've got the second one off, but what did I do? I used my extreme strength, and I knackered it. I broke it, so it's broken. We're gonna have to use some I don't know, glue, maybe some of the techniques I was using at a different time in a different place to do let me see, the bumper repair. So we will maybe use that, maybe see a little bit of mess on it, and I'll say, look what I did, I fixed it. Or maybe not, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, but yeah, look at this, it's a mess. And then look, we've got ourselves to the other side right here. That's all good. Take off our dust cap. The reason why we take off the dust cap is because we want to be able to get everything as we should. Look at that, there's our two pieces right here, the bolt that goes here to hold this part in place, and we will keep on going. By the way, those are just extra rims, they don't belong to this car at all. One day they'll be sold or whatever. If you do know someone that wants some rims that are a little bit messed up, but you know, decent tires, a little bit decent tires, Firestones, whatever, you know, let me know. But yeah, let's get cracking on putting this thing on stilts, and that way we can get the rear brakes. No, not the rear brakes. We all know what this is. The rear struts. We'll get those back on. Alright, so we put everything on jacks, so everything's up and all the way around, and we will take off all the wheels as we go. But I believe in doing one at a time. We've got our rears right here, so the rears will go in first. That'll be good. Have a 19mm bolt and another 19mm bolt, and this tie rod. So this has to be taken apart here, so that way we can see. We'll have to take these two out, then I have to get this kind of out of the way. So I'm going to do a few things to do that. So it's probably undo this. I believe that's probably a 12mm bolt. Almost every single time this has been a 12mm bolt situation. So as you can see, this is what we're going to replace. Is probably a pretty ratted out, yeah, it's oil leakage. You can kind of see a little bit of that. There's some other things like that. We'll take it off. We'll do an examination of it eventually here, but I'm going to go get some PB Blaster for these, because I don't think they're probably going to like me. I'm going to get this, kind of move this out of the way, so that way that goes well. Get something for this too, that should be easy. So yeah, let's get after them. All right, so then after all that's done, then I got to get my 3 bolts from up there inside the car, and we'll get that all done. So give me a second here, and you know, I'll either allow you to see what I'm doing because I've mounted this somewhere, or yeah, or no, you won't get to see it at all. Alright, so what I said before, we're going to do this 12mm. There we are. Look at that. You should be able to get out of the way with this. that'd be fantastic. So by the way, I've already PB blasted the crap out of this, so just look for more PB blasting to happen eventually. So she should slide out. That allows us to get it out of the way. Just remember, this is a brake line. You do not want to break a brake line. Yeah, it's in the word brake. So our next step is this part right here. We do need to possibly go, we're going to have to go up to, I believe, a 13mm. Let's see. Oh no, it's a 14mm. We are all over the place today with the different types of things. We may need to ugga-dugga this actually, and I'm going to have to probably put a flat side on this. So just a minute and we will do the ugga-dugga, otherwise known as yeah, just, you know, not ugga-dugga, you know, whatever it is. Right, let me see, I need a 14mm, 14, you know, I really should organize these in what, you know, size they are. So what is that one? That's a 13mm. Okay, 14 is somewhat on here. There it is, 14. It says so right there. And here we go. And then let's see what happens with some. And she's loose, but now what we have to do is we're going to have to undo this crimp on that and then get it, and we should be good. So some looseness. I will be right back because I have to go get another tool. I always forget my tools and what I need to have. So we are pretty good so far, so yeah. Alright, so got our handy dandy tool. Whoa, watch out there. And we have released what I think I can say is enough of it. I don't know. It may need more. Yes, it needs more grip. And let's do it again. There we are. So that is a tie rod. She's ready to be off, and we've got a bit of grease that's coming out. Not too bad, but that's a little bit more wobbly than it should be. I might recommend we come back to these a little bit later, get a little bit of a different type of tie rod. So we may have to do that. We may have to put new tie rods on. These are a nice copper finish, it looks like, which is, it's nice, but you know, at the moment, you see this, they're not supposed to be this loosey-goosey, all right? And if you do like gooses, this is not what you like. You don't want loosey-goosies, you want tidy, tidy swans, I guess. Yeah, tidy, nicely done waterfowl. That's what you're looking for. This is loosey-goosey. So tie rod probably in the works, probably going to have to be done. We'll put this one back together though, because you know, we just don't have those parts today. But we'll get to it eventually one day. Especially if we feel, you know, when we're on the road course doing really like crazy fun things, if we feel it all get all, you know, out of whack and whatnot. All right, so now we have this part right here. So that is these two bolts. All right, so right now I have to get a get at two things here. So one is a breaker bar. So the reason why I'm using a breaker bar on this opposite side is because, well, I have to break the hole the nut has on itself. And so, oh, by the way, if you never knew this, if you are too flat on a hex head, all right, so you're too flat, you take it, you rotate it a quarter turn, or half a turn I guess, and then that way you can put it back in somewhere else. Alright, well maybe we do it the other way, I don't know. So that way I can get in here to do this. Alright, let's get this other one back here, let's break it. Let's break it. Alright, let's do it again. Back here. Flip it the other way. And let's see if I can't get a better grip on it. Alright, you've got to be careful with this brake line here. Interesting. Interesting. So, I'm not really having a nice time with this, so I'm just going to keep on chucking at it. There she's braking, there she's moving a little bit, and then let's get this other one. A little bit of polish on it. There we are. We have to break these because, well, otherwise if you don't break it open a little bit, then yeah, you're not going to have that much fun trying to do the rest of it. There we are. So that should be fun. So now let's take ourselves, get ourselves to the next level. And let's put ourselves on a 19 on a ratchet and then hold it in place with, or, you know, maybe do the other way, I don't know. Ah, there we are. Once again, like I said, be careful with the brake lines. Because, well, as you'll see in other videos, the brake lines and the brakes, I struggled a bit with that, so I'm going to be trying to be as easy, oh, ouch, I'll be as easy as I can with all that. Oh, I forgot, I do want to put that back on, just to keep it in some location in place. All right. Time for a little bit of ugga-dugga, if I can get in there. Oh, look at that, beautiful, beautiful. That's why you break it, so that way you can get in there and you can do it, and it goes pretty easy. And like so, easy peasy. Alright, so you want to be able to knock these out. So what am I going to do about knocking them out? Well, we've got a few different ways to do it. There's the use a wrench as a hammer, or let me go get a up-down wrench, a proper up-down wrench, and I'll be right back with that. Alright, here we are. So tap, 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 tap. This up-down wrench is probably one of my strongest ones. Tap, 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 tap. And there we are. Just need to figure out a way to tap it out the rest of the way. So I'm going to go get another thing. So yeah, enjoy that. Well, maybe do the other way, I don't know. Ah, there we are. Once again, like I said, be careful with the brake lines. Because, well, as you'll see in other videos, the brake lines and the brakes, I struggled a bit with that, so I'm going to be trying to be as easy, oh, ouch, I'll be as easy as I can with all that. Oh, I forgot, I do want to put that back on, just to keep it in some location in place. All right. Time for a little bit of ugga-dugga, if I can get in there. Oh, look at that, beautiful, beautiful. That's why you break it, so that way you can get in there and you can do it, and it goes pretty easy. And like so, easy peasy. Alright, so you want to be able to knock these out. So what am I going to do about knocking them out? Well, we've got a few different ways to do it. There's use a wrench as a hammer, or let me go get a up-down wrench, a proper up-down wrench, and I'll be right back with that. Alright, here we are. So, tap, 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 tap. This up-down wrench is probably one of my strongest ones. Tap, 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 tap. And there we are. Just need to figure out a way to tap it out the rest of the way. So I'm going to go get another thing. So yeah, enjoy that one. When all else fails, you find yourself a flathead screwdriver and you tap. And there we are. So now she's in place. So now we have to tap our, oh, that's it, that was easy. Look at that. That was very easy. So now we just kind of move our strut out of the way, just like that. Collector bolts, we lost this one, nice and easy, but look at that. Two of them out. We'll put these back on just a tad bit, you know, just want to make sure that everything stays exactly what it's supposed to be. And there we go. Look at that. So Now it's time for the up top side. So I've already pre-loosened the 3 bolts. The reason why is because I didn't want you to hear me grunt and groan doing that. I don't know, I felt like it would have been nicer, felt special. I felt more special doing that. So here we are, we're about to get this one off and go from there. Alright, so we have the bolts. These are the bolts that come off. Alright, so I've got one more. So I don't know what you want to see, but what we're going to do is I'm going to show you that I'm going to unthread this and hold my hand on the other part, because I don't want it to drop down and ruin my brake line or do anything like that. So I need to be able to hold it up and then do the bit. So I'm going to just put you down here so you can see, hopefully not too much, because you know we're trying to keep ourselves on a little bit, you know, on the mystery of things. But so you should be able to see this loosen itself out, and we will be good from there. And drop on nuts, and then here we are. Oh, the camera's in the way, and there we are. Look at that. Oh my, look at that. We are due for one. So number one, you could tell your dust cap stuff is knackered. Absolutely, look at that. I have a bit more oil than I'd like to have there. Pretty decent up here at the top, no real problems, just dust, dirt, everything like that. But it's more a matter of the lack of everything good here. So let's look for our corresponding parts. Look how much nicer we are from one to the other. So look, a nicer look here. Everything looks, you know, just immaculately put together. I'm going to take these nuts off because I do like the ones from our good friends at Toyota that came with the car. So reverse installation. It's really simple, except for the heavy component parts, but it's very simple. So I'm going to set it in place, try to get going on it, and everyone's going to hopefully really like this. Easy peasy. So what we've done is we've put it up into the hole. Of course, I'm not going to move it for you, but the idea is that we've got them all threaded. So we're just going to then tighten them up, pull them up front, pull them up tight, and I believe there's a torque value to it, but you know, I think we're going to do the German type, which is a guten tight, and yeah, should be on our way with that. Be good. And then we're going to do the big bolts back in again, and yeah, this is it's fun, masterful stuff here. So let's see, how do we do such a thing to where you can see me putting these back in? I don't know. Is that better? Almost. There we are. Could be right. All right, here we go. So I need a 12mm, and here we go. Let's get the furthest one. All right, furthest one on. That one's on, and then I don't know if you can all see this, but here's our last one, and she gives me a little bit more trouble So there's a shallow bolt here, but we're going to crank it down a little bit more with some other items, and should be good. But look at that, we're in. That's very nice. Now we should be able to line up our rear end suspension here. So it might be a little bit tiring, a little bit more of a work situation to twist this up into spot. So we're just going to, and apologise for my camera work, it's shoddy at best. And so I'm going to do that right now. Let's try to get one of the bolts in. Do we go back the other way? I believe we try to do it back the same way we had it before. The reason why we try to is for the kids. We try for it because we'd really like to keep everything exactly the same. So let's put that in. And there we are. I'm going to use Bertha to help us understand that this bolt should go in. And there we are. That's going to be good enough. So let's try the other side and do that one. And we may need some extra power here. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness. Oh my days. We are in great shape here. And then look at this. I'm just gonna, oh my, look at that. It's like Christmas came early for me. May not get that on the other side, but you know, hey, we'll take the we'll take the win when we can take the win. Oh, look at that, look at that. And then I believe there's a torque to these, so I'm actually going to probably do that just because these are exterior bolts, shaky, different things like that. The other ones that are interior, well, you know, that's also important to do, but we will, you know, we'll get there. So time to introduce this back into place with this right here. Look at that, look at that, look at that. And then let me see, I think I had a tool. Yes, here it is. And we're going to, and there, look at that, we are in place. The only thing we have to do is add this, but we're also going to of course, like I said, tighten everything up. So let's do this, put her on. By the way, you know that they have other types of these, and they so there's an Allen head here. So the best way to do it is actually a completely different method altogether. I have a through wrench, right, and then that through wrench I have the 14mm, which can fit on this. Let me see, let's go to, where's my 14? Where's my 14? There's the 14, there it is. And then I'm going to switch it to on, but oh no, it's just going to keep on spinning. So what do? I'm going to go get an Allen wrench real quick, and then show you how to tighten it. Alright, so Allen wrench on. So just to show you what's going on, Allen wrench goes right here. So you just take it and then you go right in here, and then if you need more leverage, if you need it to not spin at all, well, you know, I'm sorry folks, you're gonna have to deal with some other things here. So we've reached a point where it doesn't like it as much, so we have another option, and that is this 14mm ratchet. And then let's see, she's a bit old, so she's going to not like me. All right, I'm gonna have to give it some forcible entry here. Oh man, oh boy, there we go. That's that. There we are. So remember, it's nice to have a bunch of different tools in your disposal, but you know, you can't always have the best ones all the time. It's just, you know, a fact. So let's just try to get this as tight as we can. I think we are nearly there. Yes, I believe so. So there's other types and they have flats on the inside here. Those flats on the inside help you get, you know, hold it right here with 14 or any kind of type, and then you just do that. So this Allen is one of the things that you do have on most of these, but you know, you just have to deal with what you have to deal with. So we are essentially at our point of references to get it all done. We've ugga-duggaed, we put everything back together. We now have a strut, a nice new strut in place, and yeah, I'm just, you know, I think you at home or wherever you're watching from, you might be pleased as punch at this. So, you know, just tighten everything up, get it where you need it to be. That one's good, and then that one's got to be good. All right, and there is a strut, a brand new strut on this thing. It's simple, it's easy, other than the grunting that I've done. So that's a real strut. I'm going to do the other side, pretty much only give you a nice little walk around of how pretty they look on the car now. Like I said, I do believe a new tie rod might be in the works. It's not stiff enough for me, but you know, hey, we do it with what we do with, and we get with what we get. All right, so looks like everything's still in good order. Brake line looks fine, nothing's bad there. Got that. We're going to do some torquing on that. You know, you don't really need to know about the torque, because yeah, you don't. I do, but just because I'm going to put these two torques on here. I think it is 56-inch foot-pounds, but you know, I'll research it. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this for you, the viewers, because this is BritFix and we do enjoy doing things. I'm going to actually do that for you. All right. All right. So because I'm nice, I guess. I'm doing foot pans, and I do believe that I just checked it. It did say that we need to go to, that is 60, so 58 is what I'm asked to do. So that is 60. I'll just do 60, and yeah, we'll see what we get on that. And righty tighty. There we go. Click one, and then let's do the other. Can you see it? I don't know if you can, but and there we are. So we just did 60. The reason why is because 58 is probably nominal for the torque, but we're set. This is ready to go. Right as rain, perfect, ready to go. Eventually, because we also have the front to do, the front that way, up there, So I'll show you just one more part, and that is because the other one is going to be in on the opposite side, and that way you can see that the rear end is phenomenal. This car should be able to carve up the track. I believe it should be a yeah, probably one of the fastest Camrys around once we're done here today. You know, and that's a pretty good idea, pretty good things, right?